Here's me showing.
When we went to Israel, we were thinking about the match and stuff. And my dad was on his phone trying to learn as much Hebrew as he could for interviews and promos. And I'm like, man, that's pretty professional to learn the country's tongue. And then that's pretty cool.
Pretty crazy if you think about it. With world class in Israel, it's like obviously they got that over there, but your dad and his brothers were like God's over there. But it's like, wow, Israel, Texas. It seems like the oddest combination.
It really does, and how big Texas was in Israel. Like there's people love Texas and Israel, which blew my mind. And in Japan, we were in Japan at a rest stop in the middle of nowhere, and we got this little rest stop. We're eating noodles and get gas and all this stuff. And there's it said, "Welcome, howdy, y'all, welcome to Texas," and I had like Texas stuff everywhere, and it's pretty unreal. The Israel thing blows my mind too. My dad said that was
how random is that? It's like a little tiny speck on the map on the opposite side of the earth, in both directions. It's like,
he said he couldn't believe how far away from home he was, and how many people. It was the first time he got weak in his knees from the sea of people when he got off the plane. So there's no way that's for me. And cops were telling him, don't look up, don't make eye contact, look at the ground, walk through the barriers, had barriers and stuff. And he waved at a lady, and they said the whole place erupted. And the cops threw him on the shoulder. He thought he was getting arrested. He's like, it was crazy. And I was like, man, that's you never thought that. And it was the first time they had a ceasefire in years between the Palestinians and the Jewish people. They had a ceasefire to watch wrestling, which is crazy.
Yeah, and it was actually popular in Jordan and in Israel, which in Israel, the way they were able to watch world class, it wouldn't be great quality, but they could move their antenna where they could pick up the Jordan station, which showed world class. And so it was like these two enemies of each other had a common I don't want to say hero, but they both enjoyed watching wrestling, and what a cool thing something like wrestling could do on a big
the ratings were 100%
geopolitical scale,
which is crazy. If the ratings are 100%, is on Saturday, the show came on Saturdays right after Shabbat, so they weren't allowed to watch TV until after Shabbat. And so right when Shabbat was over, the first thing they'd watch, and it was world class.
It has to be one of the first times in history anything had 100% show a rating.
So everybody's watching. Any of our Jewish friends were telling us, he's like, the whole country was watching every match, everything they did. And for some reason they picked, my dad to love. They loved the other brothers too, but there was something about my dad, and it's crazy too. My dad takes a lot of his wrestling mindset towards the country, towards Israel. He's thinking bases it on it being a small country surrounded by enemies and all this stuff. And
he calls it the ultimate babyface story. He's somebody that's outmatched, outgunned, but you're standing for what you believe is right, and you're willing to fight your heart out to do that. You want to do the right thing, and it's kind of my dad to a T. So I think it's kind of cool. And going over there, there was all these people in the crowd telling stories that we met, just saying, when we were kids, we'd wrestle on the playground, and I would be this fun, Eric, and we would be that, and
it's the same stories we hear in Texas from fans and stuff. It's like crazy. We're on the other side of the world, and
it's just mind blowing. It's really crazy.